No, we're just here among friends doing stuff that is important for the world, hopefully. And being here is already very much appreciated. So you can only win. You're already all winners tonight. All right. I think I will just get started. Welcome, everybody. I think some people like Felix are not here due to power outages in their locations. So I'll take the honors. Last week we had a first session and I was truly, really amazed by all the people coming in and wanting to present and having great presentations. I think that's really, really above and beyond any expectation that I had beforehand. And then to see that now a week later we have yet another filled room. I thought we actually had discussions. What if there will only be 3 people next week? But here we are with, if I think about 15 proposals again to be reviewed. So that is a lot of material and very valuable and interesting material. Maybe I should give you a little peek what we will be doing with that material. So we are opening right now, working on creating a special deep funding YouTube channel. So pending that, we will upload all the videos, presentations from last week and create a playlist out of that. But we will also add it to the Deep Funding website, and I'll just briefly share that, just give you a brief view of that. Let me see. I think this is the one, yeah. So Deep Funding, if you go are on Deep Funding, you go to the project and proposals page, you will get here. And at the top, you see the awarded projects. We already had that before. It looks a little bit different. And we have now also an open proposal page, and it can be filtered, not per round, because open proposals are only in this round, but per pool. So, for instance, the ideation phase project, and it will filter. And what you will also see, so one of the things we will do here is just the main things. And the reason we are doing that is because right now in Sway, the missions are archived. So it's a little bit harder to find the projects. And also we think that the overview is not ideal. So we take charge and we want Deep Funding website to become more like a hub for all these things. And there's a lot more to come in the coming months and half year or so. When you click on summary here, you will see a summary text. You can go to the full proposal on our proposal portal, Sway, and the next few days until Sunday, you still have time to give your feedback. And what we will have here in the near future is also, well, let me first show this, a tag for everybody who created the presentation. So this is recommended. I'll tell about that in a minute. Tomorrow or the day after, we will also have the presentations here, at least starting with those from last week and hopefully very quickly after that, the ones from today. So every project that has presented and that we have recorded will have their tag here with presentation. And then people can also open the summary and they will find here a link to the presentation video on YouTube. So you have everything together here. You see the summary, you can have the quick presentation, you can go to Sway to see all the comments and the full proposal. And we feel that this will help our community to review and assess all the proposals. And it will also give you a nice podium stage to show the world what you've done and make sure that these presentations that you're also doing today will be easily accessible and easily found. Quick word on the recommendation. That's an experiment currently. We currently only have recommendations for for the ideation pool. This has been reviewed by awarded teams in round 1 with a group of people. They went over all the ideations. They rated them on 3 dimensions. And if I click here again, let me see. So this one is recommended. If you click on the link, it will open a blog with their detailed information on why they recommended these projects. We hope to have a similar thing soon also for Pool B existing projects. We would like to have that maybe the next round or the one after that for every pool, but we need a big enough pool of awarded members first to do all that work. So I will stop sharing. That's about a quick view about our website. I want to show everybody that this is a very easy entrance to find all the information on all these wonderful projects. One other practical point is about the rules. So over the past week, I've been going through all the proposals and reviewing whether they are abiding to the rules. And quite a few not completely. And I made a comment out of that, but I don't have the bandwidth to come back to that and have dialogues with everybody. Also, a little bit due to the current usability with the emails and the links, etc. So that is also your own responsibility. But after Sunday, we will be reviewing all projects and review them also on, are you aligned with the conditions for the pool that you're in? And in some cases, we will have to be strict. And that means that if you are not aligned to these rules, that you may not enter the voting. And that would be such a waste of all your energy and time. So please really be careful and check if all these rules are followed. And I'll give 2 examples. There are still, and I think there's one among us tonight, that don't have a single amount for the project, but for instance, a bandwidth, it's somewhere between here and there. We can't work with that. The community will vote for a proposal based on a certain amount. If that amount is still ambiguous, it will not be eligible. Another example is we have this weird rule of 25%. You have to reserve 25% of your budget, a little bit depending on the pool, but in most cases this is valid for API calls. Or alternatively, you can also use it for your hosting requirements of your service. Now, if you haven't put that into your calculation, then me and the community don't know whether this 25% will be added to the amount or if it will be calculated into and other things will be smaller. And by not knowing that, you would not be eligible. So it's a small job to add that. And please check that and make sure that you're covered there, because it would be such a shame if you're not part of the voting because of that. I also asked our own community members to give me some help next week to review. So that's not just me and a colleague, but that's also done by the community. So if you're interested to help me going over the proposals and assessing that those eligibility rules, then get in touch with the ambassador program, and you can even get a little bit of compensation for that. So those are the most important things. Last but not least, thank everybody for your feedback. I think there's a lot of feedback on these proposals. Also, if you're presenting today, please have a look. I noticed that there are some proposals out there with a lot of feedback. and with no comments from the original proposer. So please honor all this feedback from the community and do something with it and react to it and show that you've read it and maybe improve your proposal based on that. For all you people that are giving that feedback, big thank you. There will be even a bigger thank you afterwards, because there is 100,000 AGIX available to be distributed among the most productive contributors. And lately, that 100,000 AGIX is going up in value, so that's quite a nice amount. Last tip here. Please also review the reviews. If you think this feedback to a proposal was particularly helpful, give it a thumbs up. That will give the person that put a lot of effort in that a little bit extra reward later on. If you think that somebody is gaming the system by adding the same remark in every proposal, which is very generic, like nice, but it needs work. I saw that a couple of times on different proposals. Feel free to give it a thumbs down, and that will make sure that the people who were really active and really productive are the ones that will be rewarded for that. And that is, I think, how it should be. All right, these are all the practical and boring things, I suppose, but necessary, unfortunately. I would suggest that after this, we will go to the breakout rooms and either conduct or listen to all those wonderful presentations. I've seen a lot here that I would like to join. Actually, everyone won't be able, so I will be hopping around a little bit and hope I will catch you and maybe even ask a critical question. So I wish you a great night tonight. I wish you a lot of success, and don't forget to have fun. It should be a pleasure for everybody. We're all among friends here, and make sure you have a good time. Thank you, and see you.
All right, welcome back to the main room. We've been doing some presentations for presenters who mistakenly didn't make the schedule, and taking feedback on the Deep Funding Town Hall so far, the last two events. So if you have any feedback or questions for any of the presenters that you see in the room now, feel free to come off mute and shoot.
Thanks, Peter. Is there potential for like projects that get a lot of interest? I've been in some of these rooms and some of them get a lot of questions, some get very little. But if there's a lot of interest, can there be like a Q&A session carved out for those projects?
Like planned ahead of time? Or, I mean, dude, remember, we can do whatever we want around here. So, yes. I mean, we are the innovators for these types of events. So let's plan what we want to do and do it. Yeah. We have time now, honestly. I don't want to run this town hall forever, but we got to go for 30 more minutes. And if you have someone in mind, for sure, put them on the spot.
Just in general. No, okay. I'll leave this up to the community if they have any unanswered questions.
Yeah.
There were quite a few around this 25%. Is there anywhere people can go to really get their questions answered, or have a Q&A with someone who's knows a lot of the technical stuff about this?
From my viewpoint into this ecosystem, which isn't all expansive, I would go directly to Jan for that question. So, or hit the Discord to think maybe, or Peter E would know. Yeah. Maybe TiVo knows. Who had Santiago was the one that articulated that question. Maybe TiVo might know. TiVo's been around quite in depth for the last year.
What was the question? I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, you weren't in here when it was asked, so we'll do it again. Go ahead, Santiago.
Yeah, and I was just wondering about this 35% that of the proposal that needs to be used on API calls and infrastructure. What kind of requirements are there regarding the type of API calls that can be made? And specifically on infrastructure, what kind of workload can we deploy and where?
Workload seems like too detailed, but as I understand, the 25% should be API requests to or from the SingularityNet services. It can be your own service. So if you're building or like creating your own family of AIs there.
Okay. And do you know if that can be executed after the deliverable or has to be done during development? Is there any constraint regarding when those API calls need to be executed?
Both. So I would say both. So basically in test, you will use them, but on main chain too. Because the service, I think, will cost AJAX, and that's the thing. But related to that, I think that also the servers and all the setups, I think on your side has to be done. So they only provide the API.
Okay. Because I think that it was mentioned in the introduction that could be API calls or infrastructure, and it was kind of a very broad term. And I wanted to understand because in our project in particular, we have a lot of usage on that front. And yeah, I was wondering if maybe we could offload some of what we are already using into that 25%.
I mean,
I just heard the word 25% in the last sentence. I'm happy to. I know it's a little bit of an awkward rule. It's still important. It was defined in our phase 2 proposal, which was voted on by the community. So we want to respect that. And it also makes some sense. But do you have any specific question? Otherwise, I can just explain it in generic terms. But
yes, I had one. I had two, but one got already answered. The other one was, I think that you mentioned that it could be API calls or infrastructure. And maybe if you could give a little detail of exactly what do you mean by infrastructure? Because in our project, we have a lot of usage on that front. And I wanted to see if we could maybe offload some of that into that 25%.
Yeah. So the whole reason for this program is to grow our platform. And what we want to accomplish is to create API calls in the end. Well, not just API calls. We also want to have valuable software and beneficial AI and etc. But the measure of a successful platform would be, an important measure at least, to have a lot of API calls. So there are different ways of generating API calls. One option, which is maybe a little bit more futuristic at this moment, but I hope this program will run for a long time, is if your AI would call another AI, and then you could pay that other AI with that 25%. And that use case would be more realistic when our AI DSL gets to the next stage and get more matured. AI DSL is a way of communicating between, it's kind of an AI itself that facilitates communication between all kinds of AI services, like a kind of universal translator. Another way to use it is like a kind of marketing instrument where if you have a prospective customer, you could give them an amount of HIX to pay for your API call. So you can give like 10 or 20 for free, or you can give 100 for free. But as soon as somebody is really wanting to test it out at scale, then you could use that as well. So that's another use case for API. Now, we understand at this stage that is still not always easy to accomplish. It will be easier when the platform gets more substance, more AI services, more visibility, more reach, etc. So therefore, we offered an alternative. And the alternative is to, if you have an AI service, it will require hosting and computing. And we know that sometimes, depending on the kind of service, this can also be quite substantial. And we want your AI, we want you not just to develop an AI service and put it on the platform for a month. We want it to be there still a year from now and longer and become successful. So by sponsoring the hosting and computation of that service, that would serve for us the same purpose, namely having a lot of active AI services there that in turn can generate API calls. So that is the purpose behind it and the way to use it.
Can I make a follow-up question then?
Please.
So I really like the idea of maybe using that 25% as credits to the final user or final audience, because what we are proposing, it's a platform for developers. So yes, we want, if we could give those developers credits, Ajax to use on SingularityNet, that would be great, a great selling point. But what about the timelines? Because maybe we deliver the proposal and that has a specific number of months for us to develop that, but we are not sure how those credits will be consumed and when. Is there some kind of constraint regarding timelines for the consumption of those credits?
To be honest, in the proposal, it was stated that this 25% should be used within a year. So from the top of my head, I'm not sure when that year starts, if that starts when you're awarded or starts when your service is on the platform. I wouldn't expect us to be especially strict on that term. I think in general, the way that we are working with awarded teams is based on mutual respect, and we try to coach the teams and we try to help them. And our interest, it is in both our interests to make you successful and to make you successful on our platform. And the only thing we want to avoid is things getting wasted or not used or whatever. So it would be a pity if that 25% over a lot of teams would be locked until infinity. But if for some reason your marketing campaign is behind and you need some extra time, by all means, the last thing that we want to do is kill off a successful project that is almost successful. So I wouldn't say that would be the highest worry on your mind. We'll try to find a good way for that. But having the attention of having your product on the platform and then using that amount for grants for your customer, I think that's a great use case.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
All righty. Any other questions? This is your chance.
Please. Will there be other presentations for the other pools?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Will we have to make presentations for projects in other pools?
Do we have to make presentations for?
The projects in other pools.
The project
is in pools. In other
do we have to make
pools,
presentations for projects in other?
Pools.
Pools. Why would you want to make presentations for projects in other pools? I don't quite understand your question.
I have another project in another pool, but I just did a presentation for project.
So you have projects, different pools. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to do anything. There are also a number of. Actually, I'm very pleasantly surprised by the number of projects that show up and do presentations in this town hall. In round one, we did a little bit differently. There we asked teams to send a short presentation video, and then we would publish that, and that didn't work at all. There were maybe 2 or 3, and those and not all of them equally good. So I'm already amazed by all the work and all the great presentations and the questions, etc., of these town halls, and also amazed by the work of Swarm facilitating that. So it's not necessary. We do want to promote it. So as you saw at the beginning of this presentation, we have this webpage on deepfunding.ai, where everybody can see the proposals and the summary, and then also see the presentations. And I can imagine that if it's a proposal with a presentation there, it will get more visibility. I can also imagine that some people, like me, before voting, they will go to the playlist on our brand new YouTube channel, and they will just go through all the presentations when they're traveling or whatever, commuting to work. So there is a possibility that you will miss out if you don't have a presentation. So if I would advise you, I would always say, yeah, by all means, create a presentation. And I think didn't check this with anybody, but if you would still be able to send a presentation that is pre-recorded, then I'm pretty sure we can, and it's also 5 minutes. So if it's half an hour presentation, maybe we won't do anything with it. That wouldn't be fair. But if we stick to the same conditions and create a presentation of 5 minutes, we can still add it to our YouTube channel and to that playlist. But it's not obligated, it's voluntary. And if you have a great proposal, then maybe you don't need it. Maybe you will be chosen anyway. Yeah, I would love to see a presentation.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Oh, by the way, I'm just checking the project that you're working on, and I made a note for that. I thought you were on the portrait generator, right?
Yes, I still am. Yeah.
Because I saw a comment, you responded to a question of mine where you said, well, let me check it. That technology is that complex that I understood that you were going to withdraw because of the technical challenges. So it would be very important to make clear whether or not this is still active, because if I wouldn't have seen you here tonight, then I probably would have assumed that you would have withdrawn. And I'm happy to see you here, very happy, and I want you to be successful, but...
Okay, yeah, I'll make the edits. Yeah, thank you. And I'll move it from pool A to pool C. That was the decision. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not in pool A anymore, but only in pool C. I thought there was a different proposal in pool C.
No, it's the same proposal.
Oh, okay, then there's some miscommunication over there. Feel free to tag me or to mail me or message me on our socials. The whole feedback thing is a little bit hard for me to keep track of because it's not easy to see where I only get mails, but you know how that works with those mails. So that's not perfect yet. So feel free to reach out in any other channel.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you all for being here and for your great presentations. And I'm so sorry that I couldn't watch all of them live. But maybe some of you are happy that I didn't come in and ask difficult questions. So. Anyone else? Something to a question or a remark or something to share? What was your experience tonight? Did you also, like I mentioned at the beginning, try to enjoy it a little bit? I see some nodding faces, some laughing faces, some thumbs up.
Previously, it was mentioned that there should be more QA, but on the other side, I would say take this way of facilitation also as a way to learn how to pitch ideas to others. And these few questions that do appear, try to incorporate them into your next time you share your message, that these questions don't have to be asked. And because we are building you pull yourselves to be an entrepreneur here. You're going to get funded eventually if you keep it going. But then you realize that there is so much more you need to build in order to get your vision to the next stage. And you will be coming back, and the collaboration also starts the same way, that people understand what their intent is, and then finally sharing their projects too, and the issues they have with them. Thanks for joining. Also, it's a cool thing to see so many women here, because usually when it's blockchain, it's like 1% joining, and then you add AI to top of that, you kind of just make it not happen. But somehow a lot of nice faces joined here.
Yeah, we're happy about any kind of diversity, whether it's gender or race or mental things or whatever, being right or left-handed. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, we even are open to left-handed people. That's how open-minded we are here. Yeah.
Just imagine if the AI only built things for right-handed people. I mean, it really, that could be bad. Something to get to fix.
Yeah, it could be a real problem. Yeah. I know
that sort of joke, and it's not a joke at all. Actually, Ubio's proposal, and I would definitely suggest folks. We had a very good discussion about the inclusivity issue and how important it is for our research and our projects in this AI space. Absolutely key. It's a very, very serious issue that we can. And I think that was the consensus in our group, is that we are hopeful with our good effort to be able to change the trajectory. Started with a joke, but then
I sensed the serious undertone there. But look at us here in this room. So this is a different situation than people working for a large corporate, right? Even though the corporate has good intentions, etc., there will be a certain culture and there will be a certain direction, and there is shareholder value that has to be thought about, etc. But here we can do what we want and what we think is important, and the richness of all these proposals in this round, and it's only the second round, is already amazing. So much more than we could have thought of internally by ourselves. So that is, and hopefully really will become the strength and the power of this decentralized AI platform. So, and I thank you all for that, and want to give you all compliments, because together with more and more people coming in like you, this platform will become more diverse and therefore a better representation of humanity as a whole. Wow, big words.
Yeah.
Well, we don't shy away from big words and big ambitions at SingularityNet.
No way.
The sky is the limit. No, we tend to think big. We want to make an impact on the world, and we want you to make an impact on the world.
So a kind of question here. When the videos are out, will the videos capture only the pitch, or the videos will also capture questions?
To be very honest, I haven't seen the cutouts yet, but I think they will also have the questions, right? Peter or Tivo, you can probably confirm.
Yeah, they do have the questions. Kawe has done all of the cutting up work, so if he could verify me, that would be awesome. I have seen several of them, but we haven't gotten a YouTube channel to upload them to yet. All of last week's are done and ready to upload, so we're ready as soon as we know where to put them.
It is close. Tomorrow it will be live, including if they are already by then finished, also including today's snippets or cut off videos.
Cool. Yeah, all of last week's are ready to go.
Have a look at Deep Fund proposals after, and I think there's.
You're heavily cutting off. I think we need to take this break and let the internet catch up with you.
Too fast for the internet, Jan.
Nah, the big corporation heard him talking bad about them.
The space is too free and open.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Too free for our own good.
That's great. Jen, you were cutting out for a second there, but looks like you're back moving. So.
Oh yeah, I thought somebody clicked the wrong button and closed the whole thing, but I don't know what was happening.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just an observation that things tend to get a little bit more relaxed towards the end, but that's also a learning process for us to see what is the sweet spot. Should we do 2 minutes or 3 minutes or for question answer? I think it makes sense to keep them concise also, because for this one project, you want to take all the time, but if you're a community member and you want to consume everything, then having it concise is usually better. And then maybe come back to the main room like here and then discuss it a little bit further. That would be great also. But I enjoyed it. I did. I hope you did too. And thanks to the great presenters. I jumped from room to room and you really did a great job. So thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a hack. Instead of spending half an hour to read a proposal, you join a call to hear it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you get to interact with the person in charge of it.
Yes, but don't forget to also interact on Sway, because it's important to build your reputation.
Yeah. Don't forget that, guys.
Thank you to all the facilitators here and Jan. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Curtis.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, guys and girls, I wish you could all win. I hope for all of you to win. Maybe for some, I hope it a little bit more than for others, to be very honest. But no, I appreciate all the work that you've put into it. And I hope for those that won't make it, that you will come back next round and give it another try. And maybe we'll even have a bigger award than this time, I hope. So there will be more to share. The only way is up, right?
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Yeah, and we can experiment with event formats too. This is what in Project Catalyst, that's what all my proposals have been about. Different event formats for different applications around the funding round. None of them have been funded. but I'm still here.
Yeah,
Just doing it live.
I don't want to get ahead of things, but after the deep funding round, and we don't have a date yet or anything, but pretty soon after, we will again be organizing a new governance round. We did that last time, and the result of that, the very tangible result of that, is that we have now 2 pools that were completely new. Pool B with the existing services, and Pool C with ideation projects. And those were suggested by community members and voted on by community members, and that's why they're in right now. So after this round, we will have another governance round for anybody to make suggestions on how we can improve things. And already from round 1 to round 2, we have so many things different. We started with reputation ratings and with incentives, and now we are just experimenting with peer reviews. So I think we're really going fast in terms of experimentation. And the only thing that I think is holding us back right now is to have all the proper tooling behind all those things that we want to do. And I can give you a long list of things that I would love to have my hands on. But if you have ideas or suggestions, then keep an eye out for the governance round and join the meetings. And we'll also do it on Sway. So you can add your proposal there. And there are also some incentives to be earned for people that give feedback, etc. So we'll see how that goes. It's late, Zoe.
No, you didn't. I yawned one time and you watched me.
No, that's perfectly fine. It was a great evening, so it's time to relax right now. That's perfectly cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, for all of you remaining here, with the feedback you got, you still have a couple of days to improve your project. Please think about the rules. We don't want to be too bureaucratic about it, but at some point we have to make a clear differentiation. If it is not clear what you are proposing to the community, then we can't put it up to a vote. So I hope you will be appreciative of that. And also, give your feedback and specifically also rate the feedback. Right now it's a thumbs up or a thumb down, but that would also help the whole program and would help the people who put a lot of effort in. Actually, I'm really amazed. There are a number of people that I think went through every project in depth and then had really insightful questions. That must have taken so much time. So I would love these people to get properly awarded. And like I mentioned, I maybe I'm mistaken, but I think I also saw a number of people that were more like copy pasting the same remark. And I'd rather have that first person rewarded than that second one. So, and you can help me by that by giving your feedback to these comments. Yeah. Maybe hopefully in the future we can elaborate a little bit on that, like have a star system. I've this amount of ideas to improve things, but we'll have to take step by step. And until we have proper tooling, we can still do a lot of things manually. All right. Anybody has some last questions or remarks? Or a good joke? And if not, then I would suggest to wrap it up for tonight and keep our fingers crossed for the week after the next one when the voting starts. It will be very exciting.
Sounds good. Let's do it. Thank you all for coming to Deep Funding Town Hall Round 3. It's been a blast and hope to see you next week.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you for having us. Bye.
Bye bye. Kita